Chapter 3 Hall of Horrors. Jonathan knew that he must escape from this horrible place. He crept through the castle again, trying every door. All were locked. The Count must have the keys himself. Jonathan's only hope was to get into Dracula's room and steal them. Finally, he found one door that was not fastened. As Jonathan pushed on it, its rusty hinges let it swing back. It led into a dark wing of the castle. Jonathan knew he might not have this chance again. He tiptoed ahead into the darkness. The loneliness of the place made him tremble. Still, it felt good to be away from the Count. He lay down on a couch and looked out the window at the lovely moonlit night. Feeling tired, he remembered the Count's warning not to sleep in any but his own room. I won't obey him, he thought. Why shouldn't I sleep where I like? He drowsed. Then, half awake, he saw 3 women. They were circling him and whispering together. 2 were dark with piercing eyes like the Count's. The third had golden hair and gleaming green eyes. All had lips as red as rubies and brilliant white teeth. The 2 dark women laughed and said to the fair one, "You go first. We will follow. He is young and strong. There will be blood enough for all of us." The golden-haired woman came and bent over Jonathan. He could feel her breath on him. It was sweet but also bitter. Like the smell of blood, Jonathan was terrified. Suddenly the Count was in the room. His hand reached out and grabbed the neck of the fair-haired woman. His eyes were furious, his teeth bared in rage. He hurled the woman across the room and motioned the others back. "How dare you touch him?" he cried. "This man belongs to me. You may content yourselves with this." He tossed a bag onto the floor. It moved as if it contained something alive. One of the women rushed to open it. Jonathan thought he heard the cry of a child. The others gathered around. Then they seemed to fade into the moonlight. The horror of it all made Jonathan faint. He woke in his own bed and wondered if he hadn't dreamt the whole thing. But he knew he couldn't have. He knew that out there in the castle, there were 3 women waiting to feast on his blood. That night the Count told Jonathan to write 3 letters to his friends back home. The first will say your work is nearly done. The next, that you are starting for home. The third, that you have left the castle and are on your way. Jonathan had no choice but to go along with the plan. The letters would be dated June 12th, June 19th, and June 29th. Now he knew he had only a few weeks to live. He was doomed. He had to get word out. Lately he had seen a group of gypsies outside the castle. If he could get them to mail letters for him, he could contact his friends before it was too late. I can write to Mina in shorthand, he thought. No one will be able to read it but her. And I will write to Mr. Hawkins, telling him to expect news from her. He wrote the letters and threw them down to the gypsies with a gold piece. They took them and bowed, as if they understood. At last there was hope. But the next day the Count came into Jonathan's room. "The gypsies have given me these letters," he said. "One is from you to Mr. Hawkins. Fine. It will be sent. The other contains strange symbols. It is a vile thing, and must be destroyed." He threw the letter into the fire. That day some delivery men came to the castle. Jonathan ran to his window and shouted to them. They did not understand English. They looked at him as if he were a madman. One of them said something and the others laughed. Jonathan watched them unload a shipment of large wooden boxes with rope handles. That night, Jonathan again saw Dracula crawl down the side of the castle. Later, he heard the Count return. At the same moment, a wail came from the courtyard of the castle. A woman was standing there. When she saw Jonathan at the window, she cried, "Monster! Give me my child!" She ran to the huge door and beat against it with her fists. Above him, Jonathan heard the Count's harsh whisper. Suddenly, a pack of wolves appeared in the courtyard. The woman hardly had time to cry out. The wolves went away, licking their lips. The next day, Jonathan made his most daring effort to escape. Taking off his boots, he climbed out onto the narrow stone ledge that ran across the castle wall. Trying not to look down, he edged his way along until he reached Count Dracula's room. It was empty, but he could not find any keys, only a pile of gold, and money from countries all over the world. Then he found a door that led down a stone passageway. It passed like a tunnel into the ruins of a chapel. The smell was sickly and awful. Inside the chapel were the boxes that had been delivered. Most of them held nothing but soil, but in one Jonathan found, lying on fresh dirt, the Count. He was either dead or asleep. His eyes were wide open, but he had no breath or heartbeat. In his eyes, Jonathan saw a look of such evil hatred that he couldn't stand it. He hurried back to his own room. Before Jonathan knew it, it was nearly June 29th.
"Tomorrow, my friend, we must part,"
the Count said.
"You will return to your beautiful England. I hope I will see you again at Castle Dracula."
"Why can't I go tonight?" Jonathan asked, testing him.
"By all means, go if you wish," the Count said.
Jonathan hurried to the front door. He was surprised to find it unlocked. He started to pull it open. At that moment he heard the howls of the wolves. They rushed toward the door, their teeth gleaming. Jonathan knew that he had no hope in trying to outwit the Count. He had to wait till the next morning. The next day, Jonathan again dared to cross the ledge to the Count's room. He went down into the ruined chapel. There was Dracula in his box. He looked young, his flesh swollen as if with blood. This is the creature I'm helping to move to London, Jonathan thought, where he will find victims without number. In horror, Jonathan lifted a shovel and swung the blade down at that horrible face. But the eyes of the Count blazed so brightly that they seemed to turn the shovel aside. It only gashed his forehead. Then the box fell shut. Jonathan ran back to the Count's room. Downstairs he heard the doors creak open as the gypsies came to take away the boxes. He heard them hammering the lids shut and the sound of their heavy feet. Now I'm alone in the castle with those awful women, he thought. Those devils! He had to get out. He ran to the window. He wouldn't stay there. This time he would creep along the ledge until he found a way to escape, or he would die trying. Goodbye, Mina. He thought of his beloved. He stepped out onto the ledge.